Hey, brothers and sisters of Christ, I have a short message for y'all. This is from Genesis chapter 29 and 30. I read this months ago, and I just couldn't let it go because it resonated so well with today's world and society. So there is a story, y'all. Jacob. So he fell in love. Okay, so long story short, he fell in love with his cousin, y'all. Y'all know it was some incest going on in the Bible, right? So there were two cousins, a younger sister and an older sister. The older sister name was Leah. They described her as having weak eyes, but they didn't mention her appearance. The younger sister's name was Rachel, and they described her as beautiful with a lovely figure. So Jacob fell in love with the younger sister, his cousin Rachel. And he agreed to work for her. He agreed to work for his uncle in exchange for her. So he worked 7 years in exchange to marry his cousin Rachel. Okay? And after the 7 years was up, he asked for his cousin Rachel. He was ready to make love to her. He was ready to marry her. And to this day, I don't understand how he was tricked. But long story short, y'all, he was tricked, y'all. And he was given Leah instead of Rachel. So he didn't realize it until the next morning that he was given Leah instead of Rachel. And he's like, why have you done this thing? Why have you deceived me? So he went to his uncle Laban, and the uncle told him that they cannot give the younger daughter away in marriage before the older daughter away in marriage. So he said, finish this out, marry my daughter Leah, finish this out, and you can get the younger daughter Rachel, but you have to work for me for another 7 years, y'all. So he was tricked and deceived. He was initially supposed to get Rachel, but they gave him Leah. And now that he found out, he said, well, you can get Rachel, but you got to work another 7 years. So in total, he worked 14 years to get Rachel. But when he got Rachel, he made love to her, married her. And his love for her was much greater for Rachel than it was for Leah. It stated that in the Bible. So when the Lord had saw that Leah was not loved, he allowed her to conceive and not Rachel. The thing that stood out to me, though, Leah ended up having 7 kids. She had 6 sons and a daughter. And with her first child, she said, surely my husband will love me now. That was with her first child. She felt like he was going to love her since she had her first child with him. And her sister couldn't have kids at that time. So she like, okay, he's about to love me. He's going to show me word of love, attention, affection. Okay, so fast forward to the third child. Then she said, now at last my husband will become attached to me because I have borne him 3 sons. So it's evident she's still not feeling love for him. She's still not feeling love from him after the 3rd son, because she's still saying, okay, he's going to become attached now. I got 3 sons by him. It still did not happen because she still was not feeling love. After the 6th son, she said, this time my husband will treat me with honor because I have borne him 6 sons. She still did not feel loved after 6 sons. Okay, they had already mentioned in the passage that his love for Rachel was much greater than his love for Leah. And she thought having his first kid for one, and then she noticed after she had his first kid, he still did not love her as much as he did Rachel. So she kept having kids. And it got as far as to 7 kids. And she still was not feeling loved by her husband, Jacob. And like I said, it reminded me of today's day and age. Would basically, if a man shows you that he does not love you, take that answer and go. Do not continue to have kids with him, y'all, because kids will not make a man love you. And it's evident, it's proof that, that's a story to me that really stood out, because there's a lot of people in this day and age that think having children with someone, whether it's the man or woman trying to trap somebody, even though that was her husband, but having kids with someone will not make them want you, will not make them love you or feel differently. Just what they show you the first time is just what it is, y'all. There's so many things in the Bible that is today's world, and there's nothing new under the sun. And I think that this one was really important because this is something that really goes on in everyday, day-to-day life, with a lot of women thinking that if they have a man's child, that is going to keep them around, that the man is going to treat them good, that he's going to love them. Okay, I had your first daughter, I had your first son. Okay, we have 5 kids. But If a man does not love you, a children will not make him love you. So that was just the message that I had got out of this passage, y'all. So I just wanted to share that with y'all real quick. God bless.